looking at this does not look like an adult writing anything. To me, this is just insane to say that this is...
He wrote on everything. He has papers everywhere. This says, it's the priorities. It says family, children, legacy, kids #1.
So now things just took a sharp turn. Charlie Kirk's sister, Mary Kirk, is speaking out, and she's not holding back. She's saying straight up that Erika has been lying about Charlie and that the Valentine's Day letter Erika posted, according to Mary, that wasn't even written by Charlie at all. And the second people saw that letter, alarms started going off everywhere. The handwriting didn't look like Charlie's. The tone felt strange. And when you actually read it, it's packed with glowing praise about Erika, almost like it was crafted to polish her image instead of reflect a real private message. It didn't feel raw or personal. It felt staged. And then, out of nowhere, Erika tried to drag that same Sabbath narrative back into the story again, even though it had nothing to do with the letter itself. That move alone had people side-eyeing
his phone Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and he would come in, open the junk drawer. Everyone has a junk drawer. Open the junk drawer, said Shabbat Shalom, put it in there, turn the phone off, slam the door. And on Friday night when he would get home from work, he would turn off his phone and he would shove it in the junk drawer and he would say Shabbat Shalom.
The whole situation. But it doesn't stop there. Now reports are circulating claiming that Charlie had been planning to divorce Erika. Allegedly, he was sleeping in a separate room and had even stopped wearing his wedding ring. That's not small tension. That's serious distance. And then comes another explosive claim, that Charlie discovered a life insurance policy had been taken out on him without his knowledge. If that's true, that changes everything. When you line it all up, a marriage reportedly falling apart, a questionable insurance policy, his sudden death, and Erika stepping into leadership right after, the timeline feels way too convenient. And people can't help but ask what was really happening behind closed doors. Erika recently posted what she claims is the last love letter Charlie ever gave her, and people instantly started saying, "Wait, this ain't adding up." The handwriting doesn't look like Charlie's, and the vibe of the message doesn't sound like his voice either, which is why the comments lit up so fast. And look, when there's already a storm around Erika and Turning Point, plus all the alleged contradictions.
You're sick. He's a human being. Museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie.
Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Predictions tied to the bigger case people have been talking about. Of course, folks are going to question everything. Right, so let's break down what she actually posted. A handwritten note on Instagram presented like Charlie wrote it for her, like it's some final romantic mic drop moment. First thing you notice? The handwriting looks messy, and parts of it are tough to read. But what you can make out is basically non-stop praise. The letter supposedly calls Erika an amazing and talented mother, then keeps going with more love-heavy lines like, "I love you so much, and I can't wait to see what adventures lie ahead of us. I adore you beyond words. Thank you for being such an amazing wife to me." And then Erika adds her own caption on top, telling everyone to honor the Sabbath with their loved ones. Like, "Aw, so wholesome," right? That's the vibe we're being pushed to feel. But when people zoomed in and really studied...
Watch Erika Kirk break her character.
And that's the goal for buying us, right? You did, and he was taken so early. Parents are private. You did, and he was taken so early.
They started pointing out details that looked off. We're being told this is Charlie's handwriting, yet the lowercase letters are almost the same size as the uppercase ones, and the spacing is wild. Words jammed together in one spot, then stretched out in another. Add in multiple grammar mistakes, and the whole thing starts to look rushed and chaotic, not like some careful last love letter moment at all. So people online didn't just shrug this off. They went full detective mode. Screenshots started circulating. Old handwritten notes that were confirmed to be Charlie's were pulled up. Signatures from past documents were examined. And when those samples were placed next to this Valentine's letter, the differences stood out fast. The slant of the letters, the way certain words were formed, even the pressure in the strokes, it didn't flow the same at all.
Looking at this does not look like an adult writing anything. Right? There's too many grammatical errors, and it is messy. But again, if we go over and we look at Charlie's writing, if we go over here and we look at Charlie's writing, I can easily make out every letter. The D clearly has all the pieces that you need for it. Although even here, it looks like it was an A with a line above it or something weird, but you can make out every letter in this. Brendan Maga. But to me, this Brendan Maga in the signature, and the fact that I can make out every single letter clearly and easily. Now again, this might be manuscript and not cursive, but his cursive, I mean, this to me, this is just insane to say that this is the same person writing this. But the more I look at this, the more this looks like someone else trying to write messy. And even the CK here with a loop around it and the heart, that doesn't even seem to match the stuff up above for who wrote it.
To a lot of observers, it looked like two completely different writing styles. And that's where things get uncomfortable. Because even if we entertain the idea that Charlie did write that note, people are still asking, why post it? Why share something that looks rushed, uneven, and full of awkward spacing and grammar mistakes? Some critics feel like it makes him look careless, almost scattered. That's not how most supporters remember him. So the decision to publish it publicly has people raising eyebrows for a whole different reason. Now flip it the other way. What if Erika wrote it herself? If that's the case, then the motive becomes the real story. Is this about controlling the narrative? Is it about reinforcing this image that she was the undeniable love of his life and that their marriage was rock solid? Because let's not ignore the timing here. This letter surfaces right after backlash over the wedding photo being removed from Charlie's office.
Well, this one's easy. How long have you been married, and when did you know it was time to get married?
We've been married since 2021. We laugh about this because our dates are so messed up because of babies, meaning there's so many dates to remember.
That sparked a wave of speculation, and suddenly, boom, a deeply emotional love letter appears online. That doesn't look accidental to critics. That looks like strategy. And there's more. People claiming to have inside knowledge are saying this relationship may not have been as picture-perfect as it's being portrayed now. One source, allegedly close to Mary Kirk, claims Charlie had confided in his sisters that he was considering divorce. That's a serious claim. If that conversation really happened, it completely clashes with the image of non-stop devotion painted in this letter. So now the internet is split. Was this a genuine private note shared out of grief? Or is this part of a larger effort to reshape how the marriage is remembered? Either way, the handwriting debate isn't just about pen and paper anymore. It's about who controls Charlie's legacy moving forward. Now here's where the story starts stacking up fast. A source claiming to be close to Mary Kirk shared that Charlie and Erika sold their Arizona house last year, and allegedly they had already begun living separately before Charlie was assassinated. That's not just a minor detail. That's a major shift in a marriage that was presented online as solid and unbreakable. According to this insider,
every time Erika got involved in a turning point event, something felt off. People got pulled from their posts for no clear reason, replaced with names nobody recognized. What most people don't realize is that Erika had already started acting like CEO before Charlie even died. She was giving orders, making executive calls, speaking for the organization in ways that made all of us uncomfortable. Charlie would try to intervene and she'd just talk over him, like he didn't even matter anymore.
Man, the relationship behind closed doors looked nothing like the polished photos and smiling posts. They claim there were serious arguments happening in private. And even more surprising, Charlie had reportedly told people he felt like Erika had changed. Not slightly different, but like a completely different person from the one he married. That's heavy. The same source also said Mary never truly connected with Erika. They allegedly had very little in common, and the bond people assumed existed between sisters-in-law just wasn't there. Now, family tension by itself isn't shocking. But when you add it to everything else floating around, it starts to feel like another piece of a bigger puzzle. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Another source connected to Turning Point claimed that in the months leading up to Charlie's death, Erika was already stepping deeper into leadership, almost like she was preparing to take over. Some described it as her acting like he was already on his way out. That perception alone has people talking. Then there are those uncomfortable public moments people can't forget. Like the time Charlie casually asked Erika about their wedding date, and she froze, completely blank. She couldn't remember how long they had been married and tried to brush it off by saying there were just too many dates to keep track of. On its own, that might seem small. But when you stack it next to the house sale, the separation rumors, the leadership shift, and now this letter controversy, it doesn't feel small anymore. Individually, each detail could be explained away. But together, it creates this lingering question mark that people just can't ignore. But things behind closed doors may have looked very different from the polished public image. And this is where the situation turns seriously unsettling.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen enough. Erika Kirk should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning. Like I said, you can show me the person who disagrees with me on that.
Reports recently surfaced claiming that in 2023, a massive life insurance policy was taken out on Charlie through a company that was later dissolved just months before his death. We're not talking small numbers either. The annual premiums were reportedly $350,000, and the potential payout has been estimated anywhere between $20 and $50 million. That's life-changing money. An auditor named Brian Ferris reviewed publicly available tax filings connected to Turning Point USA and found that an LLC called GGLF allegedly covered those premium payments. The documents themselves are public record, but the identity of the final payout recipient is private. Naturally, many assume the beneficiary would be Erika. That would make sense on paper. But it's the timing that has people uneasy. According to online reports, the LLC responsible for paying those premiums was dissolved on September 7, 2025, just 3 days before Charlie was assassinated. That detail alone is what really set social media on fire. And it doesn't stop there. Users also found records showing that in mid-2024, Turning Point reportedly transferred $350,000 to that same LLC. That structure resembles what's known as a split-dollar life insurance arrangement, meaning the organization pays the premiums, gets reimbursed upon payout, and the remaining amount goes to the listed beneficiary. On paper, that can be a legal financial strategy, but when stacked against everything else, people start asking serious questions. Did Charlie personally authorize this policy? Was he fully aware of how it was structured? Or was it arranged in a way he didn't fully understand? Those are the questions circulating right now. And here's where emotions start running high. Over the past few months, critics have pointed to multiple red flags: the controversial love letter, the alleged divorce plans, reported family distance, the leadership shift at Turning Point, and now this insurance structure. When all those elements are placed side by side, it creates a narrative that makes people deeply uncomfortable. To be clear, these are allegations and financial details pulled from public filings and online claims, not confirmed criminal findings. But the optics? They have definitely fueled speculation. So now the bigger question becomes, if these major financial and personal details are out in the open, what else might still be behind the curtain? What pieces haven't surfaced yet? If you've been following this unfolding story, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is all coincidence, or does the timeline feel too precise? Make sure you like this video, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, share this with someone who's been tracking the case, and I'll see you in the next video.